here's the deal on this song. It's open range tune. These guys are sitting around a campfire. I mean, you know, a stereotypical campfire. And they don't, you know, they're bored. Punching cattle. I mean, it's not exciting. I don't care what Hollywood said, it's not exciting. And into the camp walks a guy. And they look at him and they figure that he's a greenhorn because A, he's wearing a three-piece suit. That's a start of it. And then he's also wearing Brogan shoes. Who here is wearing Brogan shoes? Tie shoes. Well, those aren't. You have Brogans? Are those Brogans? Would you stick your foot up in the air and show them? Just lift that thing up there like a gymnast. There we go. See, like that. Only it's not. It's a Brogan shoe. A Brogan shoe. Now, what really gives this guy away is the fact that he's speaking in complete sentences. Okay? And he addresses the cowboys sitting around the campfire. He says, "Excuse me, sons of the soil, is it possible perchance to borrow of the equine species, the purpose of which is to perambulate down semi-macadam road yon, to perhaps gain employment at the next rancho?" This guy's got Greenhorn City Slicker written all over him. So Shorty, the smart aleck of the group, he gets his lariat out and he goes to the remuda of the horse herd and he ropes the zebra dun. And he pulls the zebra dun out of the horse herd. Now the dun is like an old rodeo campaign horse. I rodeoed for just a couple of years. And some of the worst broncs I ever rode were the ones that would stand still in the chute and let you do whatever you want to them, and then when the chute opened up, all hell would break loose. And that's what the dun is. Okay, and again, this thing's from around the 1880s or so. We were camped upon the plains at the head of the Cimarron, when along come a stranger and he started to argue some. He looked so very foolish, we began to look around, thought he was a greenhorn just escaped from town. Now we asked if he'd had breakfast and he hadn't had a smear. So we opened up the chuck box and bid him take his share. He took a cup of coffee and some bacon and some beans, and then began to talk about them foreign kings and queens. Well, about the Spanish War and the fighting on the sea, with guns as big as steers and ramrods as big as trees, and about Paul Jones, a mean fighting son of a gun, about the orneriest cuss ever pulled a gun. Now such an educated fella, his thoughts just running herds. And astonished all those cowboys with them jaw-breaking words. He just kept on talking till he made the boys all sick. And we began to look around how to play a trick. Now he said he'd lost his job upon the Santa Fe. Was going across the plains just to strike the 7D. Didn't say how come he had some trouble with the boss. Said he liked to borrow a nice fat saddle horse. Now this tickled all the boys to death and we laughed down in our sleeves. "Oh, we'll give you a horse nice and fat as you please." And Shorty grabbed a lariat and roped the zebra dun. Handed to the stranger just waiting for the fun. Old Dun was an outlaw who had grown so very wild. And he could paw the white out of the moon and jump for a mile. But he stood so very silent as though he didn't know, till he was saddled and ready for to go. And when the stranger hit the saddle, old Dun quit the earth, traveled right straight up for all he was worth, pitching and squalling and hammering walleye fits 9 feet perpendicular, the front one's in the bits. Now you can see the tops of mountains under Dun at every jump, but the stranger, he was growed there like a camel's hump. Stranger sat upon him and twirled his black mustache like a summer boarder just waiting for his hash. And I thumped him in the shoulders and he spurred him when he whirled, just to show them flunky punchers he's the wolf of the world. And when he had dismounted once more upon the ground, you know he was a thoroughbred, not a gent from town. Well, the boss was standing round taking in of the show. Walked up to the stranger and he said, "You needn't go. If you can use a lariat like you rode the zebra dun, you're the man I've been looking for since the year of one." Now he could toss a lariat and he didn't do it slow. Catch them hind feet, 9 out of 10 for any kind of dough. And when the herd stampeded, he was always on the spot. He set him to milling just like the boiling of a pot. And it's one thing, it's a sure thing, I know since I've been born. Every educated fella ain't a plum greenhorn.